Mom, Dad's being weird again.
Luscious.
Honey,
So full.
it's just grass.
Oh, it's so much more than just grass. It's a healthier, greener, and more luscious lawn. Yours can be too.
Look at you.
With Kabursky Brothers Lawn Care.
Remember, no shoes on the lawn. Because you're so beautiful.
Call or click today.
Iowa Fireworks Farm is Iowa's largest fireworks store. 6,000 square feet of hand-picked fireworks, over 50 brands and 1,300 different products to choose from. But they're also family-owned and operated. Iowa Fireworks Farm is the one stop you need to make before July 4th. You'll find them just south of the Metro. Take I-35 to exit 43 at New Virginia. Head east and look for the Big Red Barn. At Iowa Fireworks Farm, the toughest part will be deciding what not to buy.
Murph and Andy, proudly presented by Ramsey Subaru, live and on demand across Iowa everywhere. From the Channel Seed Studios, this is Murph and Andy. Murph and Andy, connected by cellular advantage.
It is Murph and Andy starting a new week here on Iowa Everywhere. Glad to have you with us. And Andy, let's start with a little tip of the cap to Ramsey Subaru, the title sponsor here of the Murph and Andy Show. Just handed the king, Carson King, a check for $44,000 for the Carson King Foundation. This makes me feel good for a couple of reasons. First of all, nice to have a partner doing good things for the community like this, but also Carson King just still out there proving how sincere it all was.
Yeah, he is such a sincerely nice guy. He's never been anything but. We love him, and I like seeing this. It's fun when you have two things that you care about coming together like this, and we like the things that Ramsey Subaru does. They do a lot of really good community building projects over there. They're very, very active. I don't know that I know of another car dealership that's into kind of the stuff that they're into, but the fact that they paired with Carson King made a lot of sense, and I like to see this a lot. I'm sure they're going to do some good with that money.
I'm back in my home office here today. I'm missing the patio, and I'm missing that I don't have one to look forward to this Friday. 8 weeks of the patio tour, just a big success, and it really was so nice to meet so many people, put names with faces, have a good time. Iowa Everywhere, our group, our crew came out. It was our show, but we got support from all shows. I didn't remember Hassel in the picture.
Well, he made this picture and sent it to me. Do we have the original picture, Andrew, he diddled around with?
Diddled around. He did.
I love it when I can predict Chris.
You knew this was coming?
I knew what was coming when I sent him the group photo that our friend Chris Gannon took of us. Really nice photo. And it's everybody all together. And Matt Van Winkle is there doing hard work, and his kid is in it. For some reason, he picked up his kid, and his kid is in it, which I remember I saw it and I was like, okay, yeah, he's got his kid in there. And I was like, whatever. But I am certain that as soon as he sees this, Hassel will say something about that. I was like,
him.
I know him so well. And so I sent him the picture. And here it comes. This is the picture.
He stands in front of the kid. The kid in the photo.
But so Van Winkle has his kid in there, and his kid's probably, what is going on here?
Yeah.
I don't know. He's a dad. I guess he couldn't just put his kid down for a minute or whatever. But anyway, fine. Who cares? His kid is in the picture. But I knew sending it to Hassel, he would say something about that. And sure enough, he writes back immediately, get that goddamn baby out of the picture. Which is kind of not kind of, it's really misleading because he's always been wonderful to my kids. He doesn't hate kids. that's like a persona. Then
It's like a bit.
It's kind of a bit. Yeah, he does. Now he's not a fan of people, and he is not a fan of kids. But there are kids that he likes.
But other than that, it's a bit. I mean, other than not being a fan of people or kids or really anything.
I remember one time at my house, we were hanging out, and I don't know, making drinks or something in the other room, and Elin was, I don't know, she was like 1 or something. She was up in her crib, and she started crying, and I was like, oh God, I guess that's what I'm doing, and go upstairs, and before I could get up there, she stopped crying, and I was like, oh, she stopped crying, and I went in her room, and there's Chris. He had picked her up out of her crib, and he's rocking her back to sleep and stuff. So he does have a heart. He does like he likes kids.
But it's like
Like
the
some
Grinches. He
kids.
wears it on the outside.
Yeah, I mean he likes some kids. So anyway, but he made that picture. He put himself in front of Van Winkle and his kid.
This one is not photoshopped.
No, it's staged, but it's not photoshopped.
Yeah, that's they did not know I was back there. I'm staging. They're not staging. And the best part of this photo is the stupor on Chris Williams's face in the background, like, I was just back here looking for some steeple ridge. So he looks like that. Jenny, after the group photo, was like, "What? Why am I not invited to that?" I said, "You don't do like 4 shows and get invited to the team picture." So
Well, Matt Van Winkle's kid did 0 shows, and she was in. Is it she? I think it's a little girl, right?
Yes, yeah. She's ahead of Jenny on team photos, 1-0.
She should have jumped up there. Yeah, we
No,
did get everybody in there. It's a really good picture. I like the picture a lot. Andrew, could you bring that up one more time? I want to look at that picture again.
We could use
It's so
another
not the one with
woman in the
Chris,
photo.
not
Yeah.
that one.
Oh, okay.
Not that one.
Yeah,
That's not the
that
he
one
wasn't
again.
even there.
That's
No,
what he has
the real one. Yeah, put Van Winkle's kid and his kid back in there.
up top. Yeah.
But it's so nice because this is Big Grove, and they've got that cool background with the Crescent Chevrolet sign that they kept, and they kind of incorporated it into the decoration inside. So it makes for a nice kind of dark, but like stage, like well lit background. And I think everybody looks pretty good in it. Maybe we'll just give up on this. Sorry, Andrew. I keep making you switch these pictures all
No, you're
around.
good.
Oh, there we go. Okay. But Williams is all upset that I had him move around to the front because he was in the back between you and Sipker.
Yeah, I'm on
We're trying
my
to balance it out.
tiptoes. I'm on my tiptoes.
Yeah, I was
there,
wondering
or
what you
else-
were standing on.
Yeah,
Murph.
yeah.
I'm on my tiptoes because otherwise I'm right behind Kenzo's head and you can't see my face at all. So Chris was signaling to me to get higher, to try to stand up more.
I am squatting down, and then Eric Herman to the left of me, he's really squatting down. He's about 6'7". He's a really
he's a tall
tall
guy.
dude, and he's been so helpful to us. But I love this picture. It's really well lit.
It's probably enough breakdown of the photo. Let's go to some video here as the patio tour goes 8 for 8 on great Friday weather, and for that we're thankful. It is Murph and Andy live from the 2025 patio tour. Final stop at Big Grove.
You got one more,
patio.
You got one more? Can we do one more?
I would like to do more than one more. I am sorry this is ending. This is fun.
One of the reasons we did this, we always kind of envied the people that went ahead and started their weekend, and we wanted to get out with them. So I feel like we've done this. This makes Friday feel more like Friday.
Dale Rinderman from Big Grove is with us. The CDC, how do you say it, Dale? The chef de cuisine?
Nailed it.
Nailed it? I don't know.
Chef.
It's been a blast. Andy, you put this together, so nice job.
Yeah. Well, this is a lot of fun, and thank you to everybody that's made a special trip out here to see us today and anywhere along the patio tour. And
Thanks to everybody for watching and listening. Whoever came out, thanks for coming out, everybody.
Oh, shit, I spilled on my crotch.
Didn't hear that last
Dang,
part.
that was fun.
That was fun. That was 8 weeks that went by really fast.
Yeah, it did.
It did, but it gave all of us, including many of the people who came out there, just something to look forward to, which is great. So I will miss that. That was a lot of fun. I also talked to Brian Miller, Bryce's brother, and Brian's wife, Melissa, about the final plans for Bryce's celebration of life. That is coming up July 12th. And they just wanted to remind everybody that everyone is welcome. Anybody who would like to come, it's going to be at Principal Park at 1 p.m., starting at 1 p.m. with just casual talking on the concourses, sharing an adult beverage if you'd like. Concession stands will be open. Probably will be hot that day. So that is coming up July 12th. And anyone who wants to come is invited. So wanted to tell you about that. Also, as I was meeting with Brian, what are you doing, Andy?
I was looking up the spelling of something. I'll talk to you about it later. There was a spelling error, but go ahead. Go ahead, please. I saw something. I was like, I don't think that's spelled right, but go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
Well, you are really good at spelling.
No. I'll figure
on this.
Don't worry about it. I'll figure.
Okay.
We'll talk about it later.
All right. We'll talk about it later. So anyway, as we're talking to Brian, the subject, we were over at Work in Progress, which you've done stories on over the years. As it was coming together, it's Val Air basement, purposeful dive bar down there next to the really nice supper club. So we were down there at Work in Progress, and the discussion somehow came up. One we've had before is just that to most people, light beers taste the same. I think most people believe that. Brian says, oh, no, you can tell them apart. And then I say, well, this is the way I feel about Diet Coke and Diet Pepsi. Like, I can't believe anybody thinks those two are similar, because I know right away which is which. And he says, well, I'm that way with beer. So we asked the bartender, who looks like Hagrid from Harry Potter. We asked him, can you set us up with a blind taste test here of Busch Light, Bud Light, Miller Light, Coors Light? And Brian wrote them down in order, got them all exactly right. I did not. I did have one that I thought was bad, and that turned out to be Bud Light. I thought Miller Light and Busch Light turns out, I didn't know what they were at the time, tasted basically the same. Bud Light tasted like copper to me, or copper wire or something. And Coors Light was okay. But Busch Light, Miller Light were my top. But don't you feel like they all taste the same, Andy?
Well, I don't like light beer, so yeah, I do think they all taste the same. If I was somebody like you that drank a lot of light beer, I think I'd probably be able to tell them apart.
Yeah,
but
I'm still not good at it.
I don't like any of them. Really, I don't ever drink light beer.
All right, well, we'll move along to the Guest House Tavern and Oyster in West Des Moines, setting the table for sports and more today. Coming up, the WNBA expands, shallow water, and fireworks passion as we give away it's a $100 gift card, right?
Yep, $100. Yeah,
$100
that'll go a long way down there.
The Iowa Fireworks Farm, all coming up. And the table is set from Guest House Tavern, Northwest-inspired Midwestern hospitality. Right now, high or low since the last show.
Presented by Wealth Charter Retirement Planning and Tax.
Yeah, you can reach them at wealthcharterretirement.com. Tim Hawkins and company up there will help you get your retirement future all set, whenever that might be. Maybe it's a long way away. Maybe it's right around the corner. I capped off. I had a really good weekend. There were probably too many things to point out, but I did get down to the Art Fest for half an hour. And
that had to be hot.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad. Andrew was down there. Andrew and Judy, the Downses, were there with the kids.
Nice.
And I watched my daughter, Elin, perform. And I just wanted to give a shout out. This is the Central Iowa Music Lab, where she's taken guitar lessons for, 4 or 5 years now, for quite a while. And
is that like a School of Rock type thing?
Yeah, it is. Yeah. There's like a national chain that's the School of Rock that has a location here in the Des Moines Metro, but this one is a local one. Brooke Bauma's son took lessons down there, so I kind of got the idea from her long ago. And Elin has loved it, and she really loves to take the stage. And I'm always kind of impressed, because Kahala and I will be real nervous when we go watch her play, and then she's just not nervous at all. So all these kids from the school get up, and they'll play with a whole band and everything, and that's nice when you're playing with a band, because if you screw up, you blend in, and it's not nearly as difficult. But Elin's always performs by herself with just singing and playing guitar, and I'm always like, oh my God, that would be so.
It's the equivalent of your kid pitching in Little League.
No doubt, and they want to do it, and they're fine. and you're just sweating bullets out in the stands. So she got in there, and I was really proud of her. But I just both of my kids like to take the stage. Eddie was in a production over at the Tallgrass Theater Company in West Des Moines over the weekend as well. Space Pirates, he did that on Saturday. So I'm just kind of proud to see my kids liking the stage. I didn't do that stuff. I mean, I played in a band, but I didn't perform the way that they do as kids. But I guess I do that as kind of an adult. So maybe it's acorn doesn't fall too far from the tree type situation. But I was proud of them this weekend.
I don't blame you at all. I would be proud too, and I'm so glad that they're involved in that. And Elin, seeing the photo of her with the guitar, I can't believe how old she looks in that photo. I mean, something about this photo, she just looks much older, and she looks like you. But it's just, she's 14. She's growing up fast.
Yeah, she is. She's 14 and going on 29, and does not need any guidance from her parents anymore. Does need some help keeping her room clean, which is something about teenagers. I mean, I don't think I could make a bigger mess in my room if I tried. Like, it's like every single thing they pick up, they just drop it right where it is.
I know. And they don't somehow see it or get bothered by it.
No, I mean, like, you can't walk through the room. And I can remember my parents complaining to me about this, but I don't know. I mean, I don't think my room was this messy. I mean, it's just crazy.
The one exception we had was Colin, our youngest, and he has a reputation of being extremely neat and tidy, but it's a fake neat and tidy because he shoves everything out of sight. So you go into his room and the room is pristine. You look under the bed or in the closets or in the drawer, like, how in the world did you fit this much crap under here or in here? And you can't wear any of it because it's all been balled up and folded. So it's a fake tidy or neat. I think I would still take it over the bomb just went off in the teen's room, which is what some of our other kids were like until we nagged them to clean up. And then it would go right back the next day or 2 days later. But he was a fake neat. I'm going high and low on the same subject. And here's why. We went to lunch, Jenny and I, Saturday. We were leaving, and a gentleman, probably in his 30s or so, stood up as we were leaving the restaurant. And he stood up and he said, "I'm sorry to bother you, but I need to tell you, you're a legend. You're the best. And I just had to shake your hand, Andy."
Jeez.
So
that doesn't usually happen.
So I don't know at this point, does he think you're the best? And he just thought I was you? Or does he think I'm the best, but thinks my name is Andy? Either way, it doesn't feel like an earned compliment for either of us. I mean, if you're the best, you're identifiable, right?
Yeah, right. So this is somebody that was full of shit, right? I mean, they didn't really know.
You're a legend. You're the best.
Oh, God, you're the best. I never miss it. Just never miss it.
Had to shake your hand, Andy. Or
whose compliment is
high-level
that?
trolling?
I'm trying to see if you correct him.
Maybe he saw the one show on the Patio tour where you guys flipped spots and so your name was wrong underneath you.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Man, I've never seen these guys before, but this one show has changed my life. And the guy on the left of the screen, Andy, he's great. If I ever see him when he's out, I'm going to tell him he's the best and shake his hand. All right, let's get the buzz.
The Buzz. Brought to you by Logier Heating and Cooling.
All right, dedicated to providing heating and cooling solutions to Des Moines area families, Logier is for nearly 120 years. The WNBA is expanding again, announced this morning. So since Caitlin Clark has entered the league, and it is because of her, they're going from 12 to 18 teams. That's 50%, if my math is correct. Cleveland will be added in 2028, Detroit in 2029, and Philadelphia in 2030. Now, Detroit already had a WNBA team that failed, the Shock, but they're going to get a WNBA team back. And we have coming in Toronto and Portland over the next couple of years, I believe. And Golden State was added this season. This is a lot of expansion, but 18 teams by the end of the decade.
Yeah, and I understand why they expand to these cities. These are big cities that all have NBA teams, and there's, I know there's some value there where you can kind of cross promote and have one supporting the other. It makes sense, but I mean, there are cities in the WNBA that don't have NBA teams, and they have WNBA teams. It seems like they work pretty well, and so I don't know. I mean, maybe it's because we're here in Des Moines, but I also just appreciate leagues that have teams that are located in spot, and maybe it's just because of the history, but teams that are located in spots that maybe you wouldn't expect them to be. Mm-hmm. And I think it gives those markets, the Green Bays and the Buffaloes of the world, it gives those markets something to really be into. Portland is one of those markets with the NBA, and those cities can just focus on that one team and really supporting that team, and that team doesn't have to sit backseat to any other team in the city. They can really be kind of the focal point or one of, and I kind of would like it if the WNBA considered that, but I don't know. I mean, I do understand why they want to, definitely set up teams in the biggest population areas that have, an NBA, and they've already got the arena and all that kind of stuff. So I do get that. I get that side of it too.
Some of it's just for financials because the NBA still owns like 60% of the league.
Yeah.
So when you have a situation like the Indiana Pacers property, it runs both teams kind of out of the same group of people, which makes sense. The synergy of that. I see many people like dude from Iowa who just wrote in our comments here, Iowa would be nice, but oh well. I do hear this comment a lot, and we have seen like through history, a big part of Christine Brennan's book is that Caitlin Clark has been so well spoken on women's sports and how women's sports came to be as important as they've been these past few years, because it was such a priority for Lisa Bluter to tell people the story of like where it was in the 70s when Lisa Bluter came up and what it's like now, where Lisa Bluter was washing the team clothes and driving the team van, and there was no money for anything, and you had to always get out of the way for the men's team, all of that like it used to be. So it's something that Caitlin Clark has really been passionate about, that Iowa was a trailblazer with girls basketball and women's sports, and the University of Iowa especially has a proud history. The first women's athletic director at a major university. They had a men's and women's athletics director for a couple of decades there. So Iowa does have a history of really supporting women's sports and girls sports. I do wonder though, when people say over and over again, they would, how much Des Moines would support a WNBA team. Is that a WNBA team that Caitlin Clark is on, or is it any WNBA team?
Because it's like impossible to imagine her not being on our team, right? I mean, it's like you have to stop and tell yourself that, and then you're like, oh, okay, well, maybe we couldn't support a team. I don't know if we could or not. I mean, I feel like I would like to get that opportunity. I think, the state certainly supports girls and women's basketball, I think, as well as any other state does, certainly per capita.
Always has.
I think that anytime that we have a chance at the big time in sports, we do it well.
Yes.
We haven't had a Super Bowl here or something, but we get a golf event or a NASCAR race or the NCAA
tournaments. Yeah. Women's and men's.
We show up and we do it really well. And, it feels to me like the WNBA, given the short season and the relatively small crowds, the small crowds in most of the other arenas, most of the other cities, I feel like we could clear that bar. Now, can they pull in the same ad dollars here No. And that's the problem. Television rate. I mean, those kind of things. The television market is just way too small, especially when they're compared against this. Yeah, that kind of stuff. We don't have a chance. But could we host some games? If there was a team that traveled around a lot, or that the league kind of wanted to get into something like that. I mean, could Des Moines do that a few times a year? Yeah, I think we could do a really good job of that.
Yeah, I think so too. It's difficult to also gauge, like on the Iowa Wolves, which that's a higher level of basketball than we see at Iowa or Iowa State by quite a bit. And I find it exciting. The passion for huge crowds is just not there, in part because people aren't watching the standings. Very few people are. Same with the Iowa Cubs. Like, that's an event, that's an outdoor thing. Go with your family, your friends, whatever it is. And it's just good to be there. You're not emotionally invested, most people, in the outcome of the game or where the iCubs are in the standings. I suppose at the top level of women's basketball, the WNBA, there would be that investment on how the team is in the standings, but it's hard to get people behind, with the exception of the real hardcore fans, how the Wild or the Wolves or the Barnstormers are doing. Also, the WNBA named captains for the All-Star game, which is in Indianapolis yesterday. The top vote getter is Caitlin Clark. No surprise there. She sets a new record. No surprise there. 1.3 million votes, approximately. And Afisa Collier of Minnesota gets nearly 1.2 million votes. And here's the numbers that really drive how much has changed since Clark entered the league. In 2023, before she entered the league, the top 30 vote getters combined had fewer votes than Clark had this year by herself.
Jeez. Man. Well, yeah. Good. Yeah, just this shouldn't be surprising to anybody, and everybody just needs to, anybody that's not on board, just accept this. This is what the people want. This is what the league needs. And just move on, move forward.
And she's missed 7 games. And, like, notable, Collier 2 years ago got around 30,000 something votes. This time she got 1.2 million. So it is the rising tide lifts all.
Yeah, more
boats.
People are voting. Well, yeah. I mean, when they go to vote for Caitlin Clark, they're gonna stay a while and vote for other people too. Angel
Reese, it should be noted, has been really good lately. She takes a lot of criticism. She brings some of it on herself for sure. But she had 24 points, 16 rebounds, and 7 assists. And she also pointed out in her post-game press conference that of those 16 rebounds, only a couple were me-bounds.
Yeah,
which she probably ends up getting paid for, right? Hey, I trained like that.
She's allowed to use it. Yeah, nobody else can without paying her for it. But yeah, you're right. I mean, that was a really good game. She's set a rebounding record on that.
She can rebound.
I mean, that's good. Yeah, find another headline right now. Keep it going for that league.
The Timberwolves declined the option on Luka Garza. He had his camps here in Urbandale just last week. He is now a free agent. He's been in the league, 4 years now? He's going into his 5th season, which is hard to believe. Played quite a bit for the Iowa Wolves as well. It seems like he needs a different location. He's the second leading scorer of any current basketball player in the NBA. He's second on points per minute in playoff action. So when he's in there, he does pretty well, but it just seems like he's not going to get that shot. So maybe this is good for him.
Yeah. It's so strange, right? I mean, we know how good he was in college, and it's not like he's 5'8" or something.
No.
He looks like an NBA basketball player to everybody, and I don't get it. I mean, it's yet another reminder of how difficult it is to make it into the NBA and stick. But then again, I feel bad for the guy. We know how hard he works. He's such a nice guy. We know how bad he wants this and how he just kind of sticks to it in the off season. I'm sure he trains every off season like he's absolutely going to get it done this time around, but for whatever reason I don't know what the inside scoop is, but
I think it's the same program Rocky Balboa did in Rocky IV. Like, he's just sprinting up mountains in Europe
music
or
all the
Russia
time,
or
yeah,
something.
just
He's
one
cutting
cut
down
scene after
trees
another.
with a rusty saw, just doing whatever he has to, lifting up. At one point, doesn't Rocky? They do a good job of showing both sides. You know, the Russian robot is training with all the high tech equipment and taking steroids ahead of its time. Stallone is privately taking steroids, but that's not shown in the Rocky movie.
Which it started before Rocky 3.
Yeah, instead of doing the overhead press with a barbell, no, he's got like a horse carriage or something that he's, and the whole crew that's up there is in, and he's pressing it over his head. Interact on YouTube, on X, it's Murph_Andy. The email is Murph_Andy at iowaeverywhere.com. All powered by the Cellular Advantage, proudly representing U.S. Cellular since 1993 with 35 regional locations. Some more hot topics, big trade in the NFL today. The Dolphins and Steelers trade all pro defensive backs. Steelers get Jalen Ramsey and Jonnu Smith, the tight end. Finns get Minka Fitzpatrick and a late pick.
This is Jalen Ramsey's 4th team. He's one of the best cornerbacks in modern NFL history. Well, Jags, Rams, Dolphins, and now Steelers. That's right? That's my memory of him.
Yeah.
Yeah, he has moved around a lot. He's really good. I think my takeaway from this is it feels like, and I don't know that this works out, but it feels like the Steelers are going for it. Like they think they're closer to the Super Bowl than most people think. They got Ramsey, Aaron Rodgers.
There's no point in bringing
Metcalf.
you don't bring in Aaron Rodgers if you're not going for it. That ain't
And
a long-term project.
He played well down the stretch. I mean, the Jets didn't, but Rodgers did not look 40. What is he now? 41, turned 42 at some point in the season. He looked pretty good down the stretch, and he hasn't been hit that much. I think he could. I mean, he's going to be an upgrade for them, right? Steelers?
Yeah, absolutely. And the Steelers will be an upgrade for him. That's just a great franchise. It kind of always seems like it is run the right way, coached well,
keep the
sets
same
guys
coaches,
up for success. Yeah.
Decades.
Great fans. Yeah.
Staying in Pittsburgh, Dave Parker died at age 74. And now we're probably at an age cutoff for those right now who are going, oh yeah, Dave Parker, what an arm, what a player, what a badass. And those who just may not know Dave Parker as well, but man, that dude could play.
Yeah. One of the big stars in the league at the point that I started paying attention to the league. And he just reeks of 70s baseball, right? He's just big slugger, big beard, that, crappy beer league softball jersey just pulled tight over his not so svelte frame.
Right.
Really good. Won a World Series with the Pirates in 79, I think.
That's the We Are Family Pirates.
Yeah. With Willie Stargell and Kent Tekulve and all those players. And one of the that was the All-Star game, right? Him throwing somebody out at the plate. There are a bunch of Dave Parker highlights. Jump onto YouTube at some point today and just call up Dave Parker highlights. First of all, that guy, he used a bat that I don't know what the reality was, but as a kid, there were urban legends about Dave Parker's bat,
like Paul Bunyan.
Yeah. It was like,
Wonder Boy.
It used to be a telephone pole and he just whittled it down a little bit, but
yeah,
it was like the biggest bat in Major League Baseball, physically the biggest bat out there. And he was so big, and just had these, this wrist action that would just flick that giant bat around, and that ball, back when those ballparks were just huge. Those cookie cutter ballparks had
the circle,
really deep walls, those circle ballparks. And he could smoke it out of anywhere.
Yeah. I think of, the guys I think of that fit the mold of what you're talking about: Dave Parker, Greg Luzinski, Dave Kingman. Kingman was ahead of his time because he was home run or strikeout back in the day, which is so common now, but it wasn't common then. You were trying to.
It was a major
contact.
knock on him then. Yeah. I mean, he was passed around. He went to a lot of different teams.
Big dude.
Bob Horner of the Braves was like that. Dale Murphy of the Braves was like that. I mean, guys that just had huge power,
Yeah.
but did not hit for real high average. And some of those guys, they would, like Greg Lazinski, they stuck him out in left field only because he was in the National League and there was no DH. But Dave Parker could play outfield. I mean,
Yeah, he could.
He could really play the outfield. He was a great player.
And I don't know this. I don't think I'm dealing with my subconscious here, but Dave Parker is a guy who would not have surprised you if you went into the locker room and he was smoking a cigarette or a joint, having a beer, maybe some whiskey.
Yeah, having a dart after the game, you could see that. Maybe even stepping back into the back of the dugout during the game.
Yeah, rest in peace, Dave Parker. EA Sports announces the college basketball game is coming back. It takes from the announcement today until the release, maybe 3 years. I think 2028 is when it's supposed to come back. It's going to be men's and women's NCAA basketball. That brings us to a quickie poll from WCI Pools and Spas in Ames and Urbandale.
Do you play video games? Yes or no?
They're close. We're almost a 50-50 split here. It's a no for me. Andy, you play, right?
Yeah, but Eddie lost my favorite game. Those little Switch cartridges are so little, so I haven't played in a long time. But
Put you down for a yes.
Well, first of all, I don't play because I know it's the same reason I don't do cocaine. I know I will like it too much, right? Yeah, I don't need to pick up a game, and start liking one of Eddie's Switch games, because then I'll go down there and play it, and I got other stuff I got to do.
AD, you video games?
Yeah,
Remind me.
definitely
You don't?
less now than ever.
Yeah.
Hopefully we'll get back into it at some point. Yeah, now it's a lot of Minecraft with my kids, that sort of thing. But games like this, I played a lot of NCAA basketball back in the day. It'll be fun to get that back.
The thing I've come to appreciate is that our kids are scattered, but this is their way of meeting at night.
Mm-hmm.
Headsets on, seeing each other, talking during the game, that kind of thing. So that's a good thing. Now, here is a brave local television reporter canoeing in 6 inches of floodwater.
Good morning, Michelle. Good morning to you.
Good morning. Well, obviously we're getting a nice break from the rain, but not the flooding. This is essentially now a part of the Passaic River in this neighborhood. It rushed in yesterday through the streets, and it's really tough to control a canoe or a boat when you're out in it.
Oh,
as the guys walk by, just ankle deep
walk
water.
by in ankle deep water. It just crushes this live shot.
I was thinking for a second the current was going to sweep her away or tip her over or something like that. So I was waiting for a little bit more. The guys walk by.
AD, can you hit the replay one more time? Just this
Good morning, Michelle. Good morning to you.
Good morning. Well, obviously we're getting a nice break from the rain, but not the flooding. This is essentially now a part of the Passaic River in this neighborhood. It rushed in yesterday through the streets, and it's really tough to control a canoe or a boat when you're out in it.
Yeah.
Well, why would you need to control a canoe or a boat out in the floodwater?
Well, that's the question. And this is there might have been 9 really smart, well thought out, helpful live shots that serve the public interest. And then this one is why somebody's like, I don't trust the media. She didn't need to be in a canoe.
She was just going for the effect.
Yeah, it's performative.
Which, if she just put on some waders, she could have demonstrated that the streets were flooded and it was relatively deep.
Hey, that's Michelle Kosinski. I think her brother directed F1. No, I don't think so.
She borrowed that canoe from somebody.
She had to have. She says really tough navigating these waters, this flood.
Yeah, well,
in a canoe or a boat, and these guys just walk by. The guys are on their way to Hardee's.
Yeah, there's nobody needs to paddle a boat down the street. Just wait till the floodwaters go down.
Hashtag is Iowa Fireworks Farm, whatever platform you are watching or listening. Put hashtag Iowa Fireworks Farm into the feed. And then at the end of this show today, AD will do that generator thing that takes the pressure off him and randomly picks a winner of a $100 gift certificate to New Virginia, right? Yeah, and the Iowa fireworks from the big red barn off the interstate.
Yeah, I sent a couple of text messages down to Wade Peterson, the owner of the fireworks farm, over the weekend, just kind of wondering how he was doing. And I got a couple of one-word answers. Clearly, he was just buried in business.
Good.
So people are stocking up for the week. Ready to play a little game here?
I am. I missed one in the last show. I had been doing the new equivalent of a perfect cake, like a perfect sparkler or something. I don't know. That doesn't make sense. But now I've missed. So my confidence is wobbling, but I can get it back.
Okay, so I'm gonna give you two names here, and you tell me which one is real. Okay, which one is really in existence and for sale down at Iowa Fireworks Farm. Okay.
Okay.
All right, here we go, Murph. Mountain Dew Me or cougar bait.
Jeez. Mountain Dew Me or cougar bait. Cougar bait is real.
It is. It is. You know what else is real? Mountain Dew Me.
Oh my gosh.
Both of them are real. You can get either one of them down there.
Look at that box. I mean, the thing that
There's no Mountain Dew on that box. Yeah. What is that? Like a julep slushy or something? Jeez. All right. Here we go. The next one. Tell me which one is real. Texas Titty Twister or Big Bang Wang.
God, they're both so un-PC. Texas Titty Twister or Big Bang Wang?
Right.
I think Big Bang Wang is real.
Ooh, wrong. The Texas Titty Twister is for sale down at the Iowa Fireworks Farm.
Oh my gosh, and it's the guy from Waterboy.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
Oh, okay. That's who that is. All right.
That's who that is. Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah, the guy you can't understand. Oh, don't do that. Wow. All right. Well, one for one today.
Go down to Iowa Fireworks Farm. Get yourself stocked up. I need to break away and get some more fireworks. I don't have enough. I'm not quite ready.
I enjoyed your fireworks What's Bugging Andy last night because we are one of many neighborhoods where there's some passionate discussion. I've heard. I don't see this, but Jenny has told me about it. Both sides of the issue of people that once a year fireworks, neighborhood fireworks, and then there were people that are just like, let's think of the pets and the veterans and the danger involved and go to only organized fireworks things, not neighborhood fireworks. So you had some good observations in there and a great one-liner that made me pee myself a little.
Yeah, I mean, and you can see both sides of it, right? I mean,
absolutely.
There's a right and a wrong way to do fireworks. And, I love fireworks and they're just in my blood. I love them. And, but there's a right and a wrong way to do them. And, we have, the laws have been relaxed. And so it should allow people enough time and freedom to be able to do them the right way. I think this year on your property, don't go to the parks and blow stuff up. I mean, did you see the damage that people did in the city parks last year? I mean, it was really sad. It was awful.
I did see it. And I also saw the number. How many Des Moines Police Department complaints, or did they have to go out on, was it 700 calls?
Well, they got like 2,800 calls into the police station, and they actually had to go out on over 700 of them.
Okay.
Which is, they handed out like 52 citations. And that's just a gigantic waste of time for the police department. I mean, they need to be out, they need to be out solving real crimes, preventing real crimes, serious crimes, and not, because so-and-so heard bottle rockets going on, so I got to call the police. Then they have to go out and check on that. And I'm sure 9 times out of 10, they can't even tell who lit them off. I mean, How are they going to tell? Everybody's lighting them off. How are they going to tell where the call came from? They go out there. So, it was a waste of time. And, but if people are just respectful of their neighbors, then I think we can do this. I do remember going to Omaha one year, and it looked like Beirut. I mean, it was so smoky, and there was just fireworks litter everywhere up and down the streets. And that was not the right way to do it. People need to clean up after themselves.
Right.
And that I think we can do this better than we have in the past. And maybe this year we can, with the extra freedom, we can make it work a little bit better.
I'm kind of a guy with a different vantage point on this because I have never, I don't light fireworks myself. I think you know this, but many people who are watching or listening might not. But, my dad was in a really bad fire as a kid. So he raised us to be so scared of all things fire, and he had a healthy fear of it. And I completely understand why. And fireworks were just a no in our family. So that's still the way I think about it. I don't want to light them off, but I love to watch them. And we also have dogs who don't like the fireworks, but it's once a year, and we try to get them into a place where they can tolerate it and get on with their life the next day.
Yeah, I agree. And you need to remember, it's really kind of all this week people light them off, and they don't just light them off within the legal hours. So
I wish they'd wait.
They need to, but be preemptive and take care of your pets. Make sure your pet has a collar on, right? All week long, that collar with an ID tag. If you've got a microchipped, good for you. If you don't, you can, I'm sure, still do it this week. The microchips are great with dogs. I mean, they can go police departments, veterinary clinics, dog pounds, animal rescue centers, sheriff's office. I mean, they have those wands that they swipe over the top of where the microchip goes between a dog's shoulder blades, and they can tell immediately. I mean, you can put all that information in there. You can put, 9, 10 different phone numbers on who to contact if that dog is found somewhere. But they hear those fireworks, and this is the number one time of the year for people losing their pets. People, the dogs hear the fireworks and they just run off, and they're all confused, and then they're lost.
And you said those thunder blankets work.
They do. They work really well. The thunder vests, thunder blankets.
Thunder vest. Yes.
They have different names. I think it's proprietary, but they just basically strap onto a dog, and they kind of feel like the dog's kind of being hugged, and they really do. They really do calm them down. And you could get one from Amazon easily by tomorrow or Wednesday if you ordered now.
Confluence is the official beer of Murph and Andy, and Confluence is where good things come together, now featuring the quickly popular Old Tavern, wherever you find your Confluence beer. Let's get some more.
But wait, there's more from Either Or Eatery and Patio.
Either Or Eatery and Patio, one of the 8 different stops we did on the patio tour. Had a really good one there. Any old stop on their patio is great. Try them out this week. They'll be busy, but they got a lot of room. 6222 Grand Avenue. Iowa, I mentioned the fireworks laws, but Iowa has a whole new round of laws going into effect this week, starting tomorrow. One of them is the hands-free driving law. I need to keep in mind. I need to follow this. I'll admit it. I pick up my phone in the car, especially if I'm at a stoplight.
Me too.
Can't do that. You'll get pulled over.
Do it. I mean, we
shouldn't
can wait.
Shouldn't.
We shouldn't, but I do.
My Subaru Forester has, Bluetooth connectivity. I can plug it straight in with a cable. I can control the whole thing from the touch screen right in front of me, and most cars can do that now. Use that auxiliary cable. Use your vehicle mount. Put that on there. Oh my God! And if you have been drinking at all, this is what your dad is going to tell you right after. Make sure all your tail lights work. Don't touch your phone. That's coming up. I think I wonder if I'll get pulled over for this at some time. I got to just stop. I have to stop. It's become such a extra appendage, your phone.
It's that feeling like
you glance over.
Am I missing something? What am I missing?
Distracted driving is so dangerous.
Like drunk driving, right?
I think I think tests have shown that in many cases it's more dangerous than drunk driving.
Feels like it with teens because it's not always girls, but it's usually girls. Like they'll go by me on Grand or Ingersoll as I'm going to work, and they're driving as they're checking Instagram or TikTok. I'm like, oh my gosh.
Out on the highway, really scary. You can tell somebody's on their phone. Yeah, watching a full movie. August 21st is Seinfeld night at Yankee Stadium, and demand for the George Costanza sleeping under his desk bobblehead. Which
this bobblehead is incredible.
It's just genius. The demand has outpaced demand for game tickets by 5 times. Now, only the first 18,000 fans who attend the game will get one for free, but there are already some for sale on eBay.
Oh, what are those going for?
Buy-in now prices up to $250. Jeez.
Goodness.
This is just great. The quote, "I love a good nap. Sometimes it's the only thing getting me out of bed in the morning."
I got to get up because I need a nap later.
He has the underside of his desk all customized by the guy that's redoing Jerry's apartment. Puts a little shelf down there for an alarm clock and a cup holder for his coffee mug. Research from the National Insurance Crime Bureau finds that more than 850,000 cars were stolen in the United States last year alone. The 10 most stolen car models in the U.S. are the Hyundai Elantra is number 1. The Hyundai Sonata is number 2.
Are Hyundais easy to get into or something? What's going on? I wouldn't have guessed Hyundais.
Yeah, they seem to always be near or at the top of this list, and part of that may be because of TikTok videos that have gone viral. For instance, the one in 2023 showed people starting the engines of these cars with just a screwdriver and a USB cable. An increase in thefts followed. They were still stolen long before 2023, but apparently they're just that easy. And I'm sure Hyundai is working on that. Chevy Silverado also stolen frequently. The Honda Accord and the Kia Optima. From the bowels of Instagram, something that made me laugh out loud in bed last night. I love this quote. "I'm at the point in life where I do the Irish hello, which is where you never even show up to the party."
Hey, where's Andy? I think he's doing the Irish hello.
In Japan, a new 90-foot water slide has been closed. Why? Well, because 4 people broke bones on the first day.
It does look fun.
That'll do it to a water slide. Little problem with the water slide. What happened? I broke my leg on it.
Yeah.
The next guy breaks his arm. Oh my God! Yeah, you can't do that. Got to test
That's a
those
crazy
things
looking
out.
slide, like a funnel. I don't even quite understand how it works. You come from the left there, slide in, do the funnel for a couple of turns, and then down and out, I guess.
Doesn't look safe. Yeah,
right.
All right. Also from the bowels of Instagram, another thing that made me laugh out loud in bed last night. The guy says, "I was born a male. I identify as a male, but according to Stouffer's Lasagna, I'm a family of 4.
Yeah. Sometimes those portion sizes. Yeah. There's 4 portions here. Like,
oh
huh?
my God. Yeah. You're like, oh, there's not that many. There's not that many calories in it. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, that's 1 portion. And I ate all of the portions.
Yes.
Today's stupid criminal is from Florida.
Florida. Yep.
Joseph Driggers is his name. He walked into the Truist Bank in Fort Myers and handed the teller a note saying he had a bomb and a gun and he wanted money. Problem is, Driggers is a regular customer at that bank. The teller actually knew him by name, and the bank had all of his personal information on file already. They even knew his girlfriend, who was driving the getaway car. Police pulled them over a short time later. Inside the car, they found cocaine and other drugs.
I was just watching Raising Arizona, and then,
yeah.
All right, freeze and get down on the floor.
Well,
how come nobody's getting down on the floor?
Hey, what'll it be, Sonny? If and we freeze, we can't exactly get down on the floor.
And if I get down on the floor, I ain't exactly froze.
These balloons blow up in funny shapes and stuff. Oh, not less rounds funny. Let's go now to Somerset, Kentucky, where a huge crowd gathered to watch some yahoos salute the TV show The Dukes of Hazzard by jumping a replica of the General Lee over a blue fountain.
Oh!
Got several different angles of this.
Is this our friend Rob Kibbe?
It's not. I think Rob Kibbe would feel the pain of this. This car is just trashed by this jump. Look at this thing. Watch this.
There's a lot of people there. This car gets up. Yeah.
Crashes into the wall.
Carriage.
Oh my God! The doors fall off.
Look at all the people at the end of that. I wonder what the crowd. What Somerset, Kentucky? Oh,
Yeah,
big crowd.
69 Dodge Charger.
Man,
I thought it was going to go even more wrong than it did. I mean, it crashed into a wall. The doors fell off. I'm sure he broke the axles on that thing. I thought it was going to go straight into the crowd at the end and like killed 27 people, but it didn't.
Thankfully not.
Yeah, man. Oh man. All right, that's your more, everybody.
All right, time for Throwdowns on Murph and Andy.
Throwdowns. It's Throwdowns. Backed by Heartland Tire and Auto.
Heartland Tire and Auto, treating you like family in Ankeny, Waukee, Knoxville, Boone, and Crescent. Authorized dealer of both Firestone and Bridgestone tires. Quickly, Rob Kibbe was at the F1 premiere on Wednesday night. Brought his family. They got tickets. They weren't a winner, but they bought tickets and came hang out with us. So yeah, it was good to see him and say hi.
cat.
And he helped us a lot when we started the podcast. He's done a lot of this stuff. So yeah, it was
Appreciate
good to
him.
see him.
I've seen
Murph.
F1, but I'll hold that for Wednesday. I know
I'm excited to hear what you thought of it.
F1 at that time, but wow, okay. Yeah, let's
All right,
do it.
Murph. Brett McMurphy reports that the Big 12 will not do a preseason football media poll this year, citing that last year Arizona State was picked to finish last and instead finished first. Preseason polls don't mean a whole lot, but they are a conversation piece. Murph, do you like preseason football polls?
I do. I mean, I'm not passionate about them. I'm not going to go picket or start a movement here to return this poll, but I think they're harmless. And I think they do spark conversation. And I think this is an overreaction to Arizona State being picked for last and finishing first. I think in some ways that makes it cool that they completely went against what everybody predicted. And I have absolutely no doubt that fueled the fire at Arizona State practices. And I'll bet it was bulletin board material from week to week. And then it became a story that brought even more attention to the Big 12. It's like, look, this team that was picked for last in this conference of parity is going to win it. And then they dang nearly beat Texas, took them to overtime to get to that, or would have gotten to that Final Four. So, yeah, I think it's an overreaction.
I mean, preseason polls, do I like them or not? That's what you're asking.
Yeah.
Do I get into I mean, they are what they are. They're off-season fodder, so we can talk about something when there's nothing to talk about. And, you know, if your team gets a big boost from one, or if it gets shit on by one, you have a lot to say about it. And it is kind of fun. I mean, I don't put a lot into it. Yeah. I don't know that anybody does, but I'm not going to turn away from it.
Andy, Friday asked about Cal Raleigh's chances of getting to 60 home runs this season. He's got 32 right now. The last 3 full seasons, he had 27, 30, and 34 home runs. Does it raise your suspicions when a player jumps way above previous highs in these powered numbers?
Well, yeah, you know, I mean, I live and breathe. I've watched baseball for the last 30 years. Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying that I think that he definitely is, right, but it raises your antenna, if that term still makes any sense. But I mean, you see this, anybody makes a big jump and you're like, it's just, it's baked into us now in baseball.
It does. And I think it is important to say we don't know anything and everybody deserves innocence until proven guilty. But I think anybody, as Andy said, who's paid attention to Major League Baseball the past couple of decades has to at least have it cross their minds. Like, man, I think most of us are like, boy, I hope he's clean, you know, because you see these numbers go up like that. And most of us think of Brady Anderson or somebody like that. Didn't Anderson go from his 20s to 60
to 50,
50 something?
Yeah,
50.
He had 50 like out of nowhere. And he was a leadoff hitter at the time. And so it was really
crazy
weird.
jump. But I hope the big dumper's clean. I'll bet he is.
All right, Murph, let's say that we live in a world where the events of all the Jurassic Park movies have actually happened.
Oh,
right?
boy.
And yet there is still a theme park up and running. There's still a place to go. You're offered an all expenses paid trip to Jurassic Park. Again, knowing that they've gotten out before, they've eaten people, they've created havoc, but that seems kind of rare. Do you go to Jurassic Park?
No. I know that they've broken through these fences and eaten people. No, I don't go. I would like to say yes. Like, I'm not going to let a few eaten people keep me from going, even though these dinosaurs have broken out like 8 or 9 different times. I'm still going. But no, I'm not going. They can stay on the island, hope they don't learn to swim.
That's a good slogan. I'm not letting just a few eaten people stand in my way of a good fun time. I'm totally in, man. I want to see dinosaurs. Are you kidding? I feel like, look, I mean, I'd learn from past mistakes, right? I mean, I would go there with my guard up.
Like that's going to stop a dinosaur from biting off your head.
Well, I mean, I'm not going to trust those. I'm not going out in a rainstorm. I'll tell you that much. I'm not getting out of the vehicle.
Would you get in the porta potty? You know what happens.
Hell no. Well, and you know, and if the T-Rex is around, I'm going to freeze, right? Don't move. If this guy didn't wave his arms and run into the bathroom, he'd still be alive like Jeff Goldblum.
I guess one thing that does give me hope, AD, is knowing that Bryce Dallas Howard was able to outrun T-Rexes in high heels.
That's the thing. I mean, you don't have to be faster than the dinosaur. You just have to be faster than some of the other people.
Yeah, just be faster than the people around you.
Be faster than Jenny. I can outrun her.
All right. That's, what is that? Throwdowns?
That's Throwdowns. Send your Grimaldi's fan photos to Murph_Andy at iowaeverywhere.com. It's presented by Grimaldi's Coal Brick Oven Pizzeria in West Des Moines and District at Prairie Trail in Ankeny. AD, who do we have?
Yeah, it's John Weir and some of his buddies. They came by the Patio tour on Friday and came by and said hi, but also sent this photo of them enjoying Grimaldi's. And look at that, man.
Oh, that looks
you hungry?
Fantastic.
It does look good.
Absolutely. So, hit us up, Murph_Andy at iowaeverywhere.com.
It is time for the Andrew Downs audio drop of the day. We call it the AD Squared.
That's powered by Game Day Men's Health. I go to the one in Ankeny. Andy goes to West Des Moines. Scott Dochterman goes to North Liberty. And you can go wherever you want to get your men's health checked out. This kind of feeds into the audio drop here because Ed Orgeron is a guy who doesn't need more tea. I don't think. I think
the former
LSU coach. If we tested his tea, I think he'd be probably off the charts already.
Elevated.
He was in Louisiana over the weekend for a wedding of one of his former staffers, and I'm just gonna let that speak for itself.
Go Tigers and roll away! Play, baby, let's go!
And he's shirtless.
He sounds like Farmer Fran from The Water Boy.
He absolutely does.
He's hard to understand
Keep
sometimes.
your shirt on at the wedding reception. I feel like that's just a universal truth.
And this also feels like it could give somebody a little pause about, hey, what about Ed Orgeron? He coached a team to a national championship. I don't think he has a head coaching job. Coach, I need you to see this video first.
He looks like he is on something. I mean, just the way he's acting. I don't know. He's just always that torqued up. You know what, you guys? Chris, I was listening to a little of their show earlier today as I was laughing at Chris jumping all over Van Winkle for having his kid in the photo.
We've updated the photo, by the way.
Who's your daddy, Chris?
Oh my God. His kid is so much cuter than that. This is really funny. Yeah, who is your daddy? But they were saying, somebody said in the comments section that later on they were saying that I couldn't name all the teams in the Big 12.
Oh yeah, they were just crushing you today.
Oh
It
yeah,
made me uncomfortable. I was just hoping word never got back to you.
Well, I didn't hear that part of it, but I was like, okay, I wonder if I could do this. So I was listing them all out, and I got them all. And then Andrew put up that graphic, and I realized I forgot about Cincinnati. It's kind of hard these days because they're all over the place.
It's
right?
hard to even remember how many teams are in each conference. Like, is it 16 or 18
16
or 14?
Big 12.
Yeah.
Right? 16?
Yeah.
Yeah, and you have to like sit down and like really kind of concentrate. You start with like the ones that have been there the longest, and then you got to remember about Colorado, and then some of them I don't know that they'll ever feel like they actually fit.
And you have to start with, okay, I know this about NCAA athletics. Whatever the number is, there's not that many teams in the conference. Big 12, so that's not 12 teams.
12,
Big 10,
that means
not
nothing.
10 teams. Yeah.
And you're just like Arizona and Arizona State, they came together, but then you'll forget about Oklahoma State. I almost forgot about them for a second because Oklahoma obviously left, went to the SEC. Yeah. But Cincinnati still doesn't feel like they fit. UCF doesn't feel like they fit. I don't know. Will Utah? When I think of sports in Utah, I think of BYU, and I do not think of Utah.
I know, and Houston, I think,
they're
more accepting just because they're so good at basketball. But
yeah, they're easy to remember with basketball.
Team.
But yeah, during football season, I think you'd forget about them.
Arizona State. Yeah, it's a new world. Quickie poll results are presented by WCI Pools and Spas.
Do you play video games? Straight up and down. 55% say no, they don't. 45% say they do.
A pretty high percentage there. Iowa Fireworks Farm. We asked you, anybody interested to enter? Somebody's getting a $100 gift card to go down to the big red barn near New Virginia, right off the interstate. And AD is kicking it in.
See who it is.
Tyler Brown, 5810. Tyler Brown.
Yeah, Tyler, email me, Murph_Andy at IowaEverywhere.com. We'll let you know how to claim your prize.
Congratulations, Tyler. Have a great 4th. This will help. Thank you for being part of Murph and Andy here on Iowa Everywhere, supporting local media on Iowa Everywhere. Please take the time, if you would, to like and subscribe. Invite your friends to the party. We are back Wednesday, and we sure hope you are too.
Murph and Andy was brought to you by Ramsey Subaru on Hickman Road in Urbandale.